Michael's been acting strangely. I mean, what are we dealing with here?
Where you've been, it's the home of very powerful spirits, trapped in another dimension.
The god you might be familiar with cannot help you now.
Sweetie, don't put your hands in this, honey. You're leaving mark. 1, we're all gonna pay.
2,
for what we've done.
3, 4, 5.
Oh my God! She'll be starring alongside Kevin Bacon in the new horror movie, The Darkness. And please help me welcome Ilza Rosario!
Yeah!
That was so scary, you guys. I was freaking out.
I was watching the trailer at home, and when the little kid spit, I literally screamed.
Yeah, it's
I get
scary,
scared so
scary.
easily, though.
So we're gonna do your thing.
Oh, yes. Okay, everybody in the studio, when we sit down, you know the magic word to say, right? Okay,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, hurrah!
Okay.
Oh, that's such a good
Oh my God,
release of energy.
such a proper girl.
Yes.
You know?
¿Cómo estás,
I
Ilza?
guess, if you say so. Bueno, cuéntanos de esta película.
Bueno, ¿qué te cuento? Esta película la filmamos hace como 1 año y medio, finalmente ya salió, salió ahora el 13 de mayo con Kevin Bacon, como saben. Es una película de miedo, se trata de la historia de una familia que se va de vacaciones y cuando regresa, cosas muy raras empiezan a suceder.
Eso siempre pasa cuando alguien se va de vacaciones, ellos vienen para atrás y la casa está con fantasmas.
It happened to my sister.
Really?
It happened to my sister in Cuba.
In Cuba?
Yeah.
Your sister's Cuban?
No, my sister is jarocha from Veracruz,
Okay.
south of Mexico, which
Okay.
is different to the rest of Mexico. But anyways,
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, she actually se fue a Cuba, and she stayed in a hotel that used to be, I don't know, like a clinic or something. Y de verdad que she brought something to Veracruz with her, and she had to be.
We need to do I'll take her to do a cleansing.
You need to call me, you need to call me, that's what I do.
What do you actually do that in real life, or do you just play that in movies?
I play that in movies. I do have like a spiritual side for sure. Yeah.
¿Tú haces brujería?
No brujería, no brujería.
What do you do? Like, are you casting
No.
palm leaves on people's bodies?
Do you have a crystal on you right now, or do you do sage and that kind of stuff? Because I do that too.
I do sage, I do
Okay,
sage
so
for
do
sure,
I.
yeah.
We're gonna have to sage Nelly after the show.
Sage me. I need a lot of cleansing though.
And I do have my crystals and stones and all that
Really?
stuff.
I usually have
good.
crystals and stones too.
Good.
Okay, now I gotta guess your sign, and they hate when I do this. Ready?
Ay, ay, ya vamos con el.
You are Aries.
Walter Mercado.
You have like...
Taurus. Gemini.
No.
Pisces.
No.
Sagittarius.
Not good at all.
Leo.
Cancer.
Capricorn.
Of course.
Oh, of course. After 20 tries, he finds the
What
correct
month is
sign.
that? What month is that?
That's January.
January.
Oh,
January.
nice.
Speaking of cold things, you're Cuban, but you mentioned that you were raised in Russia?
Yes, I'm half Cuban, half Russian, yeah.
Who's Russian and who's Cuban?
Russian mom and Cuban dad.
Okay, so once you left Cuba, you went to Russia? Is that how it
I
works?
was born in Cuba and then I was kind of raised in Moscow, so
Okay.
I was 12, so I grew up over there.
Y tú hablas, me imagino que
Hablo-
tienes que hablar ruso.
Я говорю по-русски немножко.
What the hell
Cuban
does that
Russian is
mean?
quite the combination, let me tell you.
I think she just told us to F ourselves.
No.
No, que hablo un poquitico, hablo un poco.
What did you say in Russian?
Que hablo un poquitico, that
okay,
I speak a little Russian.
That's funny. No, I actually went to Cuba for the first time 3 weeks ago. It was actually really amazing to see the island. How do you feel about the future of Cuba now that there's certain doors opening up with the tourist industry and things like that?
Ay, ay, ay.
I think it's great, you know. I think it's great that, you know, that things are opening up for Cuba, that everybody's going there, you know. Está muy de moda ahora La Habana y todo. Hay tantas filmaciones pasando.
Buenísimo.
Transformers.
Transformers is being shot over there?
Supuestamente sí.
I had no idea. I know Fast and Furious is being shot over there.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Kardashians were there. I think
Chanel.
Yeah, there was like a lot of
I mean,
fashion.
you brought it up. You brought it up, and this all sounds great. And you and I have had a little, you know, tikis-mikis about this, powwow about it.
Right.
I'm not too sure it's going to be completely, you know.
It's gonna take some time, you know. It's gonna take some time for sure.
Well,
you know,
I mean, I'd rather the Cuban people be have a little. I mean, people say that the Cuban people are going to be exploited by outside capitalistic interests, but right now they're being exploited by the government that pays them about $100 a month.
Absolutely.
So there's nowhere to go but up. Trust me, there's nowhere to go but up.
Yeah. So
Okay,
like, is it
thank
going to
you.
be a tough process? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to take time, and it seems that's you guys are, you know, half Cuban. So
Well,
my question.
both my parents are Cuban.
So my question to you is, like, how are people, you know, thinking about it? Is it going to be like, yay? And then once they get into it, they're going to be like, oh my God, we didn't think
But
it was going to be
you
so
understand
hard.
that people are leaving Cuba in rafts? Not anymore now. Not anymore. But a few years ago, people were leaving Cuba in rafts to get across the straits, risking their lives. So obviously, whatever was happening back in the 90s, whatever's happening now is a lot better. So as tough as it's going to be, nothing's perfect.
Now that you're mentioning the raft, I'm like, how did you end up in Russia? Like, you can't take a raft to Russia.
Oh, I heard it. She has to
No,
say.
the
Tell
thing
us
is,
straight.
my dad was, you know, he was studying in Russia, and my Cuban dad, you know, because they had like the communist relationships.
Okay,
right?
makes sense.
So my dad traveled over there, and he met my mom, and that's how my Russian mom, and they had my sister. She was born in Ukraine, and then they kind of went back to Cuba. I was born, and then they went back to Russia.
Okay.
Did you
again.
find your spiritual side in Cuba, or was that when you were traveling elsewhere? Did you find that in Russia? Because Cuba does have a lot of, like, you know, a history of Catholicism, Santeria, and a whole bunch of things in between.
No, I don't have to. No, my spiritual thing doesn't have to do anything with that.
okay.
Obviously, I don't have anything against it either.
Is Santeria
whatever
bad,
you believe in
though?
that and it works for you, you know, great.
I mean, I guess to each his own, you know. Some people think it's good, other people think it's bad, you know.
I mean,
Yeah, if you use it for good things like health and, you know, having a better life, for sure, I don't have anything against that. You know, if you're wishing some people bad stuff and, you know, you know how
Santeria
it
is basically, for people that don't understand, it's basically like Cuban voodoo. The Caribbean's very African, so they mix the African gods with the Catholic gods.
Exactly.
And that involves, you know, certain people cast spells, and there you can call, there's an element of brujeria, and maybe that's what scares a lot of people. And
Well, we
that
have a
gives it
lot of
stigma.
brujeria in Veracruz, Mexico.
Yeah.
We actually
Well,
have
Santeria made it to
Catemaco, and we
right.
have a lot of that. So.
Is that why they cast you in the movie? Because of all this
exactly.
Santeria?
No, she's not a bruja. Why are you trying to label her as a
Saca la
bruja?
escoba, mi amor, y ponte a volar, por favor.
By the way, shout out to her dad. Ay, tu papá, qué lindo.
Muchas
Saluda.
gracias,
¿Cómo
mi
se llama tu papá? ¿Qué
Pedro
está?
Julio está acá visitándonos, ¿verdad?
¡Pedro
Sí, vino realmente, sabes, como la película salió el 13 de mayo, coincidió con el día de su cumpleaños.
El viernes
Muy
13.
bien.
El
que es
viernes
un día
13 nació mi papá además.
brujadito.
Entonces, la verdad es que pues, qué lindo, ¿no?
cool.
Que poderle regalar eso a mi papá, ¿no?
Wait, speaking of the movie, I'm just curious about Kevin Bacon, because I've interviewed him before. Y él es súper callado.
Súper
And I'm
serio.
like, what is it like working with him? Is he just like mute on set or something?
Kind of.
Really?
Are you trying to crack a joke and he's like,
Exactly.
He's very serious, you know. Everybody, you know.
Like
yes,
a
he
diva
is.
serious
No,
or just
not
serious?
diva serious. No, I think he's.
Wait a
he's
minute.
just. I think he's just shy, you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think it's part of his personality.
You
I
know-
don't think he's being rude or anything.
It was
It's
that
just-
game
I
that
don't
ruined
think-
it. You know what? That game, 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, did
Oh
were people
my
playing with Kevin that game on set? They did it. He hates it, doesn't he?
I'm not sure.
can I tell you something? It's just like, stop excusing people. It's nothing wrong, like, to socialize a little bit with the people you're going to be working with. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? When I get done with this show, I don't want to talk to anybody. Okay? I don't want to talk to anyone after the show. I
Quiet Cuban is a little bit odd to me, to be honest with you.
It is.
Yeah. ¿Tú eres muy callada o no?
No, yo creo que no.
She's
Creo
half
que-
Russian, though.
Oh, she's half Russian.
I have my Russian side,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
I have
Makes
to,
sense.
you know, start to feel comfortable to, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you about crossing over. You've done music in the past,
Yeah.
right?
And I'm still doing
And
music.
you know, you've worked in Mexico. So what is it like
In
coming to the
Spain,
United States, in Spain, sorry, and crossing over from not only music, but, you know, a Spanish language into English language film? How has that process been like for you?
You know, it's hard for sure. You know, I speak English obviously, but either way, like I have an accent and all that stuff, and you know, they care about all these little details. But you know, when you go to auditions and like, there's so many words that I don't have an idea what they tell you. You know,
like in English, you mean?
In English. You know, maybe you're playing like a lawyer or stuff like that. You know, very specific words, and it's hard.
So you have to do the extra homework, and these are the challenges, you know, that a lot of Latinos face, and especially when you are like a transplant from other places. You know, you really have to do the extra homework.
But you know what? I think that we're getting into a time where accents like you girls, it works for you. So on that note, I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Please come back. We want to know more, especially about the spiritual side.
Yes.
We're going to take a break, and we are going to be back with comedian Al Jackson. We're going to talk about a bunch of interesting stuff.
Oh,
right here on
yeah.
LatiNation.
Thank you.